On Deck. I'm here with Mr. Terry Pendleton, 1991 MVP. It's an honor, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So let's jump right into this. I want to start with your career with the Cardinals. You played for two Hall of Fame managers, the first one being Mr. Whitey Herzog. And you went through two World Series, both for 7 games. Can you tell me a little bit about just your time with the Cardinals and how it developed your career?
It was excellent. It was a great learning tool for me because I had many veteran players on the team. Ozzie Smith, who actually made me a better third baseman by showing me the work ethic that was necessary in order to be a good defensive player and a good offensive player. But those guys had leadership skills, and you walked into the door and you followed. You didn't attempt to lead. You didn't open your mouth. You just do what you were told, and they assist me in doing that. Plus the type of baseball we played. In the Cardinal organization, you weren't going to get to the big leagues unless you know how to play the game the way they wanted it played. And I thought in our day that was the right way to play the game, especially with the type of teams we had.
You talk about those veteran players. You mentioned the Wizard of Oz. You also had Bruce Sutter. It was a great dynamic for a young player to learn, I can imagine.
Well, there's no doubt. I got to play with Bruce actually just 2 years? No, actually just a half year. Because Bruce became a Brave in 1985. But the experience with Bruce was awesome. I mean, Bruce was one of those guys. I remember my first road trip. Well, as a young player, you get on the bus to go to the airport. The whole team would get on the bus, and as a young player, you walk to the back of the bus and you stand there and wait for everybody to sit down. All the veteran players always had a certain seat on the bus, and they sat there. And I remember standing there and everybody grabbing a seat. And Bruce Sutter comes back and looks at me and goes, "Kid," he says, "you sit right there." You know. When we got on the plane, he came back and told me the same thing. "Hey, you can sit right there."
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, there was guidance. There was guidance there from great players.
That is amazing. Now that had to have helped you in '91, which was your career year. You were the MVP, you won the batting title, and you hit a home run in the World Series. Was it a home run in the World Series that year?
Yeah, I hit a couple there.
Just a couple, right? Just a couple. Yeah. How much did your time with the Cardinals help you as your time as a veteran player with the Braves?
Oh, it was tremendous. It was tremendous help. It helped me to come over. I didn't realize. Well, I felt throughout my life I had some leadership skills, but I didn't realize the type of leadership skills that the Cardinal veterans helped me and assist me with when I came over here to Atlanta. I fell into place. John Sherrills and Bobby Cox wanted me to lead on this ball club, and I didn't realize, like I said, I had the quality of leadership skills that I didn't realize I had until I come over here and had to lead. But it also helped in our baseball skills and the way we played baseball because I brought some of that over here with me.
When you got to Atlanta, you were a huge acquisition to the roster. Did you know then the young talent that was going to help you get worst to first in that ball club?
Well, I knew Atlanta had good young talent. I knew they had good young pitching because I'd faced it the year before. I knew they had some talented young kids. Ronnie Gant was there. Dave Justice came up in '90. I played against these guys. Mark Lemke I played against. Jeff Blauser I played against. So I knew they had some good young talent. What I didn't know was the talent that they had in the minor leagues. That came up and helped us on the way to winning these pennants. You had to have some guys that could step in when other guys got hurt, and I didn't realize how good the minor league system was until we got in the battle of things and they start calling kids up to help us out.
And in those years, it was amazing the talent we had. How does that compare? You've worked with the younger generation now. How does that compare with our young talent today?
Well, we've got a couple of young ones in the big leagues that shows you that we do have some young talent, and we have some coming. I think at position players, they may be a year or two away as far as the young talent that we have down there. We've got some young pitching prospects that guys are going to see real soon. Some really good arms down there. So it's a giant plus. I couldn't see, at this point, I would have to say the '91 season and the minor league system is ahead of us right now. There's no doubt about it because we were positioned deep at all positions in the minor league back then. And so we're trying to build that up now, and I have to commend our guys down there that draft the kids and sign the kids and get them going in the minor leagues, and our minor league managers and coaches down there, the way they're helping these kids get their careers together and teaching them the game of baseball and going down there bouncing around looking at all the minor league kids that are really, really coming along very well.
Right, you mentioned being deep in all positions back in those days. You were a switch-hitting third baseman back in your day. Another switch-hitting third baseman just went in the Hall of Fame, a good buddy of yours, Chipper Jones. He mentioned you in high regard in his speech. What did that mean to you?
It was special. Brought tears to my eyes. It was special. Yeah, it was special. Chipper, as how can I put it? I first met Chipper in '91. He's a young pup on the other side of the wall in West Palm Beach. But you knew Chipper Jones was going to be something or someone special in the game of baseball because of his skills, because of the way he went about working and getting himself ready for a ball game. But the first time I really laid eyes on him was I had to go over and speak in the minor leagues over there. And they asked me to come over and speak to minor league kids. And he just happened to be in the room with a number of kids they had in the room. And I started talking about the big leagues and doing this and that and this and that. And I pointed at him. I don't know if he even remembers this. I pointed at him and I said, well, I hope you guys take this in because you're going to be in the big leagues one day and you're going to have to, do these things. But from that point on, it was almost like I got to, I guess in '93 when he had an opportunity to make our big league club is when I got to spend more time with him. He's actually going to make our big league club as a left fielder. I actually got to spend more time with him and really get to know this kid and just love him. Just love him. He's like my little brother, my bigger little brother.
Well, let's talk about somebody that's probably a more of a father figure to you, Bobby Cox. You played for Bobby Cox, and then later you coached with him. What kind of a man is he?
Awesome. He's awesome. I mean, I always say Bobby Cox has more patience than a grandma. And grandma, he's always patient with these kids, and he's unbelievable. Just when you think things weren't going to work out, he'll look at you and go, hey, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And we would be fine, But he knew the game. He was always ahead of the other manager. He just managed the game very well. He knew his personnel. He knew what they were capable of doing. And even when a guy was struggling, you're thinking, oh, man, when's he going to give somebody else an opportunity? He goes, no. The patience. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. And he was able to do that. And with his patience, it helped the guys that were struggling become better and want to run through walls for him.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Pendleton, you mean the world to Braves country, and I want to ask you to say whatever you'd like to say to Braves country.
No, Braves country, stick with us. We're good now, but we're going to get better.